Welcome friends and investigators. Welcome back to another Macho Luco video on the channel. And today we're looking at a profile point, a very unusual profile point that on its own may not seem like that much in the cases we're talking about, but when stacked with the other profile points, which I'm going to make a video for each one, you'll see how insanely unusual it is, and they are put together. So today we're looking at the inability of canines, bloodhounds, and search dogs, any way you call them, their inability and or unwillingness to track. Okay. Police investigating missing persons, unidentified remains, and unknown suspects often call upon canine team units to put them on the right track, right? We all know this, we read about it, I report on this, and so does David Pilates and other investigators. They're pretty much always used when a missing person is announced. One of the best in this area is the canine unit of the Ontario Provincial Police in Canada. Established in 1965, the unit has 27 teams. Each team is made up of a dog and a handler, and is on call 24 hours a day. Canine units have an important part to play in searching for the missing or robbery suspects. In August of 2009, for example, an OPP, Ontario Provincial Police team, went to Lambton Shores near Lake Huron to aid in tracking down some house burglars. The dog began tracking from the victimized house, and very quickly located discarded stolen property. It then proceeded to follow the suspect's scent for more than 3 hours before locating him in hiding. Very efficient. OPP's choice for general work is the German Shepherd because of its keen sense of smell and hearing, as well as dependability and good temperament. Labrador Retrievers are preferred for finding buried human remains or bodies in water. The dogs are chosen between the age of 18 to 24 months and undergo an intensive 16-week training. Tracking is emphasized, which includes the ability to follow a scent over heights, tunnels, stairways, and water in all kinds of weather. The dogs are also trained on command to protect their handlers. The officers have to be in excellent physical condition to keep up with the dogs. The animals live at their handlers' homes and have a special bond with them. When an OPP officer retires, so does the dog, usually returning to live permanently with the handler. In the cases we looked at so far, virtually all of the search parties included the help of search dogs, right? Yet, in these cases, they cannot or refuse to track, as we read about all the time. It is one of the most unusual profile points out of the ones outlined by David Pilates. So, let's just go back to a few of these cases that, based on this little example given from Ontario, it would have been child's play for a handler and their dog to pick up a scent of a missing person. With the vast majority of the cases I discussed this year, we were looking at young college men leaving house parties or bars where they were confirmed. Their location at these places was confirmed. So also they often lost or dropped their cell phone or wallets between the place where they were last seen and the place where their bodies were found. Based on what we have just read here and what we know about tracking dogs, it should be no problem for a tracking dog of the nature we discussed to go from that place of the party or the bar and at least pick up the scent to the items that were found of the person that was eventually a victim and a missing person. Now, we don't even have that in these cases. The dogs failed to make a very often short distance from the party house, the house where the party was at, or the bar, to the first item that was dropped or fell off the person that was missing. That is highly, and I repeat, highly unusual. That should be a non-issue for a tracking dog. And of course, none of them, virtually, from the cases we looked at, pick up the scent of the, unfortunately, dead person and their body in the water, which is also unusual because these dogs are trained for this. They do this in training, and they, outside of these cases, do not fail their handlers and the search effort. So, just in case you think that this is just a bad day for the dog, or just this is not their percentage is not 100%, which is not. I'm not saying that these tracking dogs do everything they're flawless, but what I'm saying is that the fact that they refuse or act in an unusual way when they're presented with this kind of scenario in these cases that we talk about, that is very unusual. I want you to internalize that, because again, if this was only one part of one profile point and everything else in these cases was mundane and similar to other cases, maybe there was nothing here. But this is one of several, and I'll be making more videos on the other profile points, so that when you have doubts or you think that this is easily explained, you at least have these profile points explained to you, so that you can say, well, why did these dogs track successfully in these other cases, right? There's still human beings involved with scent, right? But yet they couldn't do it at all in these cases. Hopefully you'll see that there's something specific that's preventing them from doing so. And this is why I'm here. This is why I'm doing this, and I'm going to continue to do this, because I believe that whatever is responsible for these cases that we talk about on this channel is A, not understood, B, either very secretive or incredibly efficient, which is very unusual, right? Especially in the later, very recent cases where forensics cameras and witnesses should be plentiful and to aid with the search. And also, perhaps using techniques, technology, and ways that have not yet been understood or known to people, if you know what I mean. They happen to have access to these culprits, to tools that are not available to police departments, searchers, volunteers, and just the general public. That's what this, again, looks like, right? So if you think that I'm way off here and that canines are just purely decorative on a search and they're cute dogs that look good in the field, then post below. But if you think that this is very unusual and they should be picking up a scent and they should be leading searchers to specific areas like they do in other non-missing 411 cases, then post below and tell me what you think is happening here with dogs that should be doing their job and are eager to do so. If you ever see them in action, they're very willing and eager to track, yet whenever presented with these cases, they seem to get disinterested and almost spooked and are not willing to do what they're bred, trained, and brought to do. Okay, thank you again for spending some time with me. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on my next video when I discuss another profile point that is highly unusual and that makes up this crazy, insane, and dangerous misunderstood phenomena of missing 411. Thank you guys. I'll see you on my next one. Thank you.